to another episode of America in Black and White. Tonight, we're going to learn about the student experience from our new guest, Mr. Katrell J. Askins. Katrell is a senior at Grambling State University, where he's majoring in mass communications. A passionate advocate for the Black community, Katrell is dedicated to using his platform to promote positive change and social justice. Katrell's commitment to advocacy is evident in his active involvement in various student organizations and community initiatives. His efforts aim to empower his peers and foster a more inclusive and equitable campus environment. With plans to graduate in 2025, Katrell is poised to continue his journey as a change maker. He aspires to pursue a career in media and communications, aiming to leverage his skills to advocate for justice and amplify the voices of the marginalized. His ultimate goal is to create content that not only informs but also mobilizes communities towards collective action and progress. Katrell J. Askins embodies the spirit of resilience and hope, continually striving to make a tangible difference in the world. His dedication to the Black community and his commitment to positive change serve as an inspiration to all who seek to create a more just and equitable society. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Katrell J. Askins.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the show. Is there anything you'd like to add to your bio?
For the most part, no. That covers it. I mean, the only thing that I probably would like to add is that, I was athlete at heart. I'm competitive at heart. So, the only thing is that, I'm athletic and I like to, competitive.
Okay. So what sport is it that you're an athlete in? Student athlete?
Now college, I was on the track team school year, a chance to compete, unfortunately, but track team at Grambling State, a track star in high school, and I also play ball well, so I don't limit myself when it comes to the sports.
Okay. All right. Good deal. So let me just start out with this one wonderful question. That there's a presidential debate tonight. Can you tell me what are you looking for? What are you listening for in this debate tonight?
Well, in the debate tonight, what is what Biden is proposing to plans and goals. I mean, I know that one of his biggest is the canceling student debt loan, which for a lot great. Well, it would be helpful, I should say, but as far as the debate tonight, I'm just looking for just to see where just as far as what is he planning and how is he going to take Trump basically,
Okay, it looks like something is going on with your internet. Okay.
Can you hear me?
You're like you're coming in and you're going out. Looks like something is going on with the internet. So I want to ask you this first question here. Can you tell us how have student loans impacted your college experience?
To be honest, as far as too much, of course, I that I have to deal with sooner or later. Currently, right now, while I'm in school, I'm not thinking too much, or I'm not concerning myself too much with the loans or paying back the loans, I should say.
Well, so why is it that you're not worried about paying back the loans?
Well, for me personally, my financial situation, I'm emancipated, so I don't necessarily have parents or guardians to help finance my college tuition, or just finance my life in general. So a lot of the times I have to come out of my own pocket just to take care of what I have going on a day-to-day basis. And I do have a girlfriend, so me and her, I try to just do as much as I can for the both of us when I can.
Okay. So then is it like one of those laws down there in the state that if you are emancipated that you don't have to worry about student loans? Is that what that is?
No, I wouldn't say that. No, because I still have to worry about it for sure. And I mean, I just, like I'm saying, just as far as while I'm in school, I haven't been necessarily trying to put forth the finances to pay them back. But I do know that I do have loans. Yes, I do have to pay them back for sure.
Okay. So do you feel the current financial aid system adequately supports students?
Um, I feel like the financial aid FAFSA for sure helps out, help support finance, when the family doesn't come in and can support in that aspect. FAFSA for sure does help out a lot in that aspect. Because yeah, if it wasn't for FAFSA, I wouldn't be in school really.
Mhm. So, but I mean, but on the back end, is it like from the back end perspective, is that like where the problem actually, where it looks like it looms as a problem?
Yeah, I feel like, like you said, or like I was just saying, of course, it gives a lot of underprivileged kids or, people the opportunity to go to school, but as far as paying the money back, it's hard to, it's hard for a lot of us because we're already coming from, hardships and hard finance or tight finances. So it's this is the back end. Well, it's the like you said, the repercussions basically of the loans.
So tell us this, like when it comes to the student loans, are you hearing any of the other students have these same concerns?
Um, no, I feel like me personally, I haven't heard any of my peers speak on their loans or their loan situation in general. Like it's not nothing. It's not a subject that we usually talk about as college students. Like, cause we already have enough stress as far as the classes and just the lifestyle. So if we're not thinking about the loans right now, we're not gonna speak on them. And a lot of my peers don't speak on their loans and their loan situation and how they're gonna take care of it.
Okay. So what challenges have you faced in managing your finances as a student?
Um, a challenge. So for sure, the challenges that I face are, just being able to tell myself when a time when I can and when I want and when I need it. Okay, because as a college student, it is a lot of times where it's opportunities and things that we can't and we want to do, but we don't need to do it, and that'll set us up, set us backwards, I should say, when we just wanting to do stuff and not needing to do it, and then just spending the money on what we want instead of what we need.
Okay. So I take it then that means that you have a job or jobs outside of school.
Yes, of course, I do have a work study job, but I work in housekeeping actually. More recently, I just got this job.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing. At least that helps in some of the support that you need, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you think the cost of education affects students' academic performance?
Hmm. I feel like for sure the higher the cost is, the more the higher the cost is, the more the student will feel like they're being educated. Or how should I put this? The more expensive it is, the more educated they feel they will be. And I feel like that is true. The more money that you pay for the school, you're gonna get more out of it, I should say. But I feel like the finances part shouldn't be a big factor in, choosing to further your education.
Okay. Have you had to make sacrifices in your personal life due to financial constraints as a student?
As far as yes, well, let me just start off by saying yes, I have had to withhold myself from activities and certain things because I didn't have the finances to do it for for sure. But it's more so, like I said, more so of the things what I would want to do as far as like entertainment or going to parties or stuff like that. Those are the things that I'm missing out on instead of, well, yeah, that's what I'm missing out of. And I don't necessarily have a problem with that. Me personally, I'm not a party person and I don't necessarily like being around in big crowds, but it is something that, of course, as a human, it's something that we would like to do. It's something that we do like to do. But I have missed out on a few things, a few events in and outside of school because of financial hardships.
Okay. So do you think that just in these times as everybody's trying to navigate, as prices are rising and pretty much everything that we do or everything that we buy or consume, um, do you think that there could be a better way that just overall for the as far as the educational system go that when it comes to these costs to go to and going to college and things of that nature, what are some of the things you think that can be done to alleviate this rise in prices and make prices that much more reasonable?
Well, it's a lot of things that could be done to like ease the finances part of the education part, but I feel like if more, how could I put this, more, I'm not trying to say big names, but like people with power, people with money, more of those type of people come and reach out and come help, because if they come, I'm not gonna say that them not helping is the reason why we're not, further along. But I could say that if they were to come and help, they will for sure help propel us further ahead. And yeah, it could just be so much better if more people, as far as like I say, pillars, community leaders, celebrities, entertainers, all of those type of people who have the money, if they would just come out, come to the campus and come be a part of it, and get a real feel for what the students need instead of what you're being told, because I feel like it's a lot of people that are being told what the schools need, but they're not talking to the students. They're talking to maybe administration or staff members. They're not talking to the actual people who attend
Yeah.
and have to deal with education side of it, and as in the events and all of those things that come along with the college life. Like, yeah, just more rich people will and come back and help. For sure it will help everybody. We would just be further.
Yeah, I think giving back is very important, or shall I say, reaching back or paying forward. It actually means a
Mhm.
whole lot because what it shows is that there is more than just compassion, but there's also a way of actually making people feel a whole lot comfortable, knowing that I appreciate you, support you, and I want to try to help as much as I can. But when you don't see that, this is what I want to ask you to follow up on that, because there are a lot of students that are actually for those same people that you just mentioned, that are paying these thousands of dollars for concert tickets and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So how does that work? I mean, like, can the students actually change that?
I mean, like they say, it's literally up to us as far as when you say paying thousands to go see these performers and stuff. Yeah, it's because a lot of my peers are, they get caught up in the hype. They would say, like, they get caught up in, oh, this celebrity is performing here, oh, let me put on my best outfit and take a picture and make sure I get some likes on Instagram, and yeah, but they're not necessarily worried about, oh, could this performer come to my school and maybe help pave the roads, or help pay for a library, or help pay for students to have books, or to have clean laundry rooms, or laundry items provided for them. It's things that could be more useful than like you said, spending it on a concert ticket or whatever it may be.
So, what resources or support do you think would help students better manage their finances?
Um, Support that would help students better manage the finances. Well, I feel like all of us as students, we're on different paths and we're on different points in our lives. Like some of us are further along than others. So I would say that it could be difficult to maybe like generalize a plan that could help the general body. But as far as finances, I just feel like if there's just support, like you said, there's just support in general. Like if somebody is there to tell you like, oh, well, wait, let me pause and rewind real quick because I did mean to say that a lot of the times us students, we feel like, well, we get caught up in the hype because we're not necessarily being told, or not even necessarily that we need to be told, but we're not being told or shown like what we're not giving an example, I should say. A lot of us are just, we learning this stuff. We're going with the flow and we learning as we go. And because we don't necessarily have too many examples of, this is a person who gives back to the community and they're just a good person for the community. We don't have too many examples of that. So now it's just up to us to make that for ourselves. But it's just hard to make something that you've never seen or that you barely see, and because you don't know what it all entails or what it takes to do that. But yeah, it's
So,
just support in general.
so do you think, shall I say, that if there was like some kind of financial budgeting, financial literacy class, or if someone could actually could partner like with the school to do those kind of classes for the students, that that's something that could help students when it comes to finances.
Yes, because like you just mentioned, for sure, I I'm 22 years old and I don't know how to budget, or I don't know how to make a budget. I don't know how to do taxes, and that's that all goes into finances, and how we could just make more finance, or just knowing that will help us be better, for sure. Like you said, if we were to learn that or have the opportunity, I feel like more people would. But also it is because example, we had we've had conventions, like we do have conventions and stuff. We do have people in partnerships and people come to the school to kind of try to help us and support us. But even the student body, like, we don't show up for the events. Like, we're not showing up and we're not interacting with these people to even make them want to come back to our school to help us more. So it's like,
Oh.
it's on. I feel like you said, we do need the programs to be provided, but we also need the students to go to the programs.
Now I'm gonna tell you this because I think just to encompass everything as what we just mentioned, it's a fact that in grade school, middle school, and high school, and also in college, they don't teach you what it is about financial literacy. They don't teach you about those things, but what they do is they want to teach you overall. This is how the economic system works. This is how the government works. So I think if that was brought in, to make it mainstream or a mainstay, either part of the curriculum or to do it from a quarterly perspective, I mean, would you agree that it's something that the students would actually learn from being a part of something like that from more than just one period, but just on a continuum, to help them to become more financial literate?
Yeah, of course, because it'll just be like, any other subject that we learn over and over in school. Because, once muscle memory, or, practice makes perfect, once that is enforced, once it is applied to the curriculum, then yeah, I feel like, yes, it'll be a good, easy adjustment for the students to, adjust to that and learn it just like any other subject. And like you said, it'll be beneficial for us to do that.
Okay. How do you think the environment on campus impacts students' well-being and academic success?
For sure. Yeah, the environment on campus impacts the students a lot. Like it's it's the campus. This is where the kids are staying, where they're living here on the campus. So if the energy is off, or if it's something messed up on campus, a lot of people do have a lot to say about it, good and bad. As far as us speaking out on it, it's a good and bad perspectives for sure every time. But yeah, I feel like the environment on campus does have a great impact on the student body, and how they're responding just to anything really. Uh, but for the most part, I mean, campus is it's calm. And I know that since COVID, nothing has been the same. So I don't know what Grambling was pre-COVID. Like I know that it was a lot of the schools, they were known for having good campus vibes, and just a good campus life. But I graduated in 2020 COVID year, so I necessarily didn't get to walk my high school stage. But I came to Grambling during that fall, and it was just it was still the same, just no visitation, no nothing, like just nothing. Like we were just here, online classes too. Like it was wild. It was wild, and we were like a lot of us were depressed. Like a lot of us went into depression. A lot of us dropped out of school because we just ain't we're on campus, but we can't do anything. We just no visitation, no nothing. It's a curfew, and yeah, it was bad, but yeah, for sure.
So, has the school done anything to create like mental health awareness, and folks to be there on the campus to assist students with mental health?
Yes, we do have counseling services. Counselors provided by the school, but we also do have organizations on campus just for, like you said, mental health. Like I know we have an organization called Open Space. It's just like you said, it's just a mental awareness org that helps the students whenever they're in a time of need. As far me personally, I haven't interacted with them yet, but I do plan on in the fall for sure.
Okay. Have you noticed any initiatives or programs at your school that promote sustainability or environmental awareness?
Initiatives.
Hmm.
I As far as the initiatives go, I'm not too sure as far as the school, but I do know we do have, like I said, an organization. We do have a club, a garden club, I believe it is, and they bring awareness about the environment and stuff. But as far as what Grambling provides, I'm not too sure on that. If I'm being honest, I haven't heard of any environmental or sustainability, you know, initiatives or anything like that. Because I'm an outside guy. I love being outside. I love being, whatever. If I could be outside, I could do it. Or I'll love doing it. But I haven't heard of any.
So, how do you feel your school's faculty supports student success and well-being?
Oh, faculty and staff supporting the students. Now, of course, just like it is everywhere. I know it's like this everywhere. You have your people. Like I said, they're good examples. They go above and beyond, and they really, they show that they care, and they're there. But of course, I will say for the majority of it, the staff and faculty at Grambling, they don't welcome you with open arms. Like you're not necessarily comfortable around them. Me personally, because I'm from Chicago, I'm not from down south, so it's a whole different dynamic as far as interactions with people. But even the Southern hospitality, it's not really. I'm not gonna say it's not a thing because it for sure is a thing. It's for sure a thing.
It's a
I will say that, but it's it's less. It's not as it's not yeah. It's just not as around as it was before. It's not as many people speaking and just welcoming you in. I don't necessarily, because the slogan for Grambling is where everybody is somebody. But if you've known me all the time that I've been at Grambling, I could tell you that literally that slogan, I haven't felt like a somebody. If I'm being completely honest, I've been at Grambling for, like I said, this is 2024, and I'm about to graduate in 2025, and just this past school year has made me feel like somebody, and it really wasn't because of Grambling. It was because of me. I took the initiative to, start interacting and networking and going outside. Because if I'm being honest, like I said, I graduated 2020 COVID year. I didn't get the high school, experience, the senior experience. So, I had to deal with that. That was a whole situation to deal with in itself. And, I'm still kind of dealing with it because, I didn't get the prom. Like I said, I didn't get to walk the stage. And that was just something that I was really, really looking forward to as far as high school. But, and then in 2021, I was in a car accident, a really bad car accident, and I actually lost my little cousin. That's the one that I wear around my neck every day. I lost him in a car accident, and ever since then, I had been just not being as social. I had started distancing myself from everybody, just wanting to be alone and not antisocial for real. But, just this past school year, it's shown me that being that way is not gonna help me get to where I want to be in life. Because, I want to be able to provide and be a mentor and be an example for others. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I was still living with that mindset and having that same energy towards life that I had in 2021 up until, just this past fall. But, this past fall, 2023, I had crossed into a fraternity. It's a non-Greek social organization called the Order of Brotherhood Incorporated at Grambling State University. It was the first non-Greek social organization founded and chartered at Grambling. And just joining that, it, like I said, it helped me get over that hurdle of being antisocial. My line brothers helped me out so much they don't even know. Like I'm for sure grateful that I met those dudes, and that they're a part of my life now forever. And they know at this point, they for sure know how much of an impact they had on me. And like I said, since last fall, I've just been on a mission to be more active on campus, be out, be in the orgs, be a part of the organizations, be at the events. Like this upcoming school year, I'm a part of like maybe three boards, three executive boards of three different clubs. And yeah, I just plan on joining even more clubs when I get back. Well, when the school year starts back.
So let me just do a follow up on that, because I heard you say some things that I think probably are concerning. Do you think that probably once the school year starts back, or if you're there already in school, that maybe you should go and seek the counseling to make sure that you get yourself kind of like situated, since you have that situation with your cousin?
I should, like you said, I for sure should, and I will actually, because a little bit after it had happened, I was talking to a counselor at my school actually too. But I actually ended up losing contact with her. I just stopped, the negative energy took a hold of me. I just stopped contacting her and stopped being in contact with her. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't even necessarily remember her name, and it's crazy. But yeah, that was just the time of my life that it was just, a blur really. But I for sure will seek, and I have seek help for the situation. But yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not against it at all, ever. I will.
No, because sometimes those are just lingering effects, and sometimes it could creep in, and it could probably cause some problems. That's why I was just asking that question.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
In what ways do you think faculty members could better assist students in navigating financial challenges?
Just being real with them. I mean, giving us the experiences that they have, giving us the knowledge that they have on, just anything with dealing with finance. Because like I said, and like we all know, finances is not taught in school unless until you get to college, and unless you're a business or accounting and major or something like that. Finances is not taught to us in school, and it never is really. Like I said, unless you're going that route in school. Mm-hmm. So just by just them sharing their knowledge and sharing their experiences with their finances, and even if they don't know, referring somebody, if they don't know, I'm sure they know somebody that they can refer.
Right. Have you experienced any difficulties in assessing academic support or resources from faculty members?
Have I had difficulty assessing?
Have you experienced any difficulties in accessing academic support or resources from faculty members?
Um, yes, I have for sure. As far as the email goes, a lot of people aren't that tech savvy when it comes to as far as the professors, because a lot of the professors, they're older. Not saying anything like that, but they're just not as tech savvy, and they don't know to check their emails every day, or they don't necessarily think to do that. I'm not sure why as a professor, but they're not necessarily getting back to us in a timely manner sometimes. Like I said, there for sure is a handful of professors and faculty members that, like I said, go above and beyond, and they do their job. Like I said, they overdo their job really, but it is a good majority that don't, and they're still around really. I'm not sure why, but like I said, we can only get what we're taking, or we can only take what we're given. As far as that, I'm not sure what's going on with the professor situation, but if we just had, I feel like if we had more professors that cared for the students or cared about the future, really, because if they cared about the future, they would for sure go out their way to make sure that they're helping us, because we are the future.
Exactly. That is exactly right. So let me ask you this. If you had to change anything at your school right now, what would you change?
I would change the communication between the administration, admin, faculty, and the student body. But like I also said, I haven't been that active as far as going to meetings or conventions with faculty members and stuff. So I'm not necessarily too sure or aware of how they communicate with officials, but it just it just seems like there isn't a communication because our needs aren't being met. I'm not even asking, or I'm not even saying that we're asking for, super crazy things. Like, we're just asking for the rooms to be updated, or not even updated, but just living habitable, like making sure there's like the towels aren't coming up off the floor, making sure the roof isn't leaking or the ceiling isn't leaking from the bathroom above, stuff like that. Necessities, real things that make us want to be here. I feel like a lot of the students, I'm not gonna say that they don't want to be here. Of course, we all want to be here. That's why we're here. But I feel like we could be more comfortable with being here if we were just showing a little bit more effort from, like I said, the faculty.
So there are some things that they can improve. It's just a matter of how they communicate it to you guys that makes you feel that much more better.
Yeah, for sure. Like, like they always say, if you tell somebody, just tell them what it is, they won't be left wondering. I feel like they just leave us wondering with a lot of stuff, and that's just, that creates anxiety. It creates, a disconnect from the student body and the faculty, and we're supposed to be one. We should all have, the same goals and the same aspirations.
Okay. Well, no, you're right about that. And see, I think that goes to the value of the education, which is where we started. And that is, if you're going to spend for your 4-year degree at Grambling State University, let's say you got to spend $100,000 for that degree that you're getting. If you got to spend that $100,000, that means that the quality of life and the quality of education should meet that very same standard. And it's sounding like it's falling short as to where it needs to be. And so, just with that being said, if that is the case, then besides the communications, what are some of the other things you think should be changed to make this standard rise?
I feel like, just bringing about more, even just community awareness as far as us students, having a sense of like, guys, this is where we live. We should, keep it clean, having just even field days, like, getting, I mean, it is days that we have this, and, it is little interactions between the students outside that you can catch and you will see. But I just feel like more organized, field days, or like I said, even just rallies to make sure we cleaning up campus, more awareness in general would help us.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Do you think there's a connection between financial stress and mental health among the students?
Oh yeah, for sure. Of course. Like that's what not only with students, but I just feel like that's a thing with the humans in general. Like, when when our finances aren't straight, they're low, our feelings are low. We get stressed out. We get, anxious about a lot of stuff, especially when, as far as when I'm speaking, I can speak on me personally. Like, when I know I have bills that are coming up and I know I don't have the money, or I don't know where I'm going to get the money to pay for it, that it makes me like, anxious. And now I'm stressed out about that. And then on top of that, now I have a paper due at the end of the week as well. And then I also have to, I have obligations with this organization that I need to attend an event to, and all of that stuff just adds up, and yeah, like it for sure gets heavy. When your funds low, you're no fun. Your fun low.
Yeah, and your stress level rises.
Yeah.
Uh, excuse me. How do you think schools can create a more inclusive and supportive environment for students from diverse financial backgrounds?
I feel like they could make those students feel better by, directly and having a direct and personal interaction with them and finding out what they need directly and personally. Because, like I said, we're all on different levels and, different paths as far as this life goes. So, one person may need more than the other, and you might not need to, split it down the middle to help both of them. Maybe, like I said, you can help this person more because this person doesn't need as much help. But I feel like, if it was just more personalized financial help, then that would for sure, help support the underprivileged and, under financed children.
Okay. Have you had any positive experiences with faculty members providing mentorship or guidance related to finances?
Finances, actually, it's crazy that you just said this, because this past semester I took that was an intro to business class, and my teacher, her name is Miss Hamlin. I just want to, again, I'll thank her again on this live for teaching me. Yes, for sure. Like you said, she taught me, revenue. It was just crazy. It was amazing what all she taught us this semester in the intro to business class. Like, we even had to go out and find a local small business and, interview them on how they started their business and, the cost to keep it, to maintain it, and all those things. Like, Miss Hamlin, for sure, is the first and really, and for sure, I believe his name is Dean Warren. He was my original teacher in that class, but they ended up having to switch because of, the lack of teachers. So Miss Hamlin ended up becoming my teacher for that class. And yeah, just those two for sure. They're the reason why I know the basics now of, business and finances.
So, was that an accounting class or was that just a business administration?
I think it was actually fundamentals of business, now that you say that.
Okay. But that's interesting. Those are always good classes because what it does is it's a diversified class. So as it's diversified, it teaches you many facets of just business administration in general. And so what you have to learn, especially if that's where your major is, and I think you said you're doing what, some kind of arts?
I studies, professional studies. I'm major in mass communications.
Oh, yeah, mass communications. Okay. So then, so that has to be a part of what you're going to be doing because, like in mass communications, when you're like out in some major company or your own business, what you're going to have to learn is that when it comes to getting the finances of that business and all those tiers, that's where your record keeping and everything about your business is going to become very, very important. So that's a really good class to take.
Yeah,
Really.
I was like I said, I loved it. I ended up finishing because she also gave us an incentive for the top 10 students in the class at the end of the semester. We got our professional headshots, and the headshot that you see on my LinkedIn, that was literally from that. Like that was my first time taking my professional headshot. I had never had one before then, and
Okay.
because of her, I was
Oh,
able to do that.
oh wow, that's wonderful. That really is.
Yeah.
Um, how do you think the availability of scholarships and grants impacts students' decision about their education?
Um, I feel like the scholarships and grants, they for sure have a big influence, but I also can say that they don't because a lot of students still decide to go to school regardless of receiving a scholarship. But also, FAFSA provides grants for you to apply for that come with your financial aid package, so that you're not just taking out all loans. You could get grants as well. So that for sure, like I said, it's a big influence on, yeah, like you said, or like I was saying, getting the students there for sure. Yeah, it helps them get there, but I could also say that they don't necessarily. It's not a. I'm not going to say that because it is a big thing for sure. A lot of students are working towards academic, and a lot of students are working towards athletic scholarships just to make those meet, make the ends meet.
Wow. So, what role do you think student organizations play in advocating for financial literacy and support?
That's a good. I feel like the organizations can have a big influence for sure because just like how we could add those that education to the, I mean, yeah, add that information into the curriculum. Those organizations could provide that same information, and it'll be even even better because those would be our peers with that information. So it'll be easier for us to connect with them and get all that information. So I feel like the organizations do have power when it comes to that. They can, but like I also said, it's just a lot of us don't have the information. We don't know. Like we don't. Well, let me not speak on. I don't necessarily know too much about the finances. I'm not confident enough to even go out and start a group to try to inform others about it.
Wow. So, like, what are some of the student organizations you guys have on your campus?
Like I said, I know we have for sure a couple um, mental health organizations on campus. I know one is Open Space. Another one is it's called SAD. It's an acronym called Students Against Destructive Decisions. Something along those lines. And then we have just clubs from the cities. Like we have West Coast Connection. We have the Windy City, which I'm a part of. We have the Midwest Association. Then we have um the NAACP, like social organizations, just to do that do community service. I should say service organizations, and yeah, for the most part, it's just service and mental health. And then like I said, area clubs. But as far as like I said, no financials that I know of. It is a boxing club, and a nature club. But other than those organizations, I wouldn't. I don't necessarily know of anything outside of that.
Okay. So, do you what kind of work do you do in your community?
In my community,
Mhm.
well, I haven't been back home in so long, or I haven't been there long enough to really make a impactful impact, really. But I have, whenever I do go back, I always go back and visit my old high school, visit, go see the new kids that are on track teams, see if it's any of them that I still remember or that were there when I was there, and just talking to them, making sure that they're staying focused and knowing that. I was literally just in your shoes, and y'all can accomplish a lot of the stuff that I accomplished because, a lot of the stuff that I did in high school, a lot of people don't do. Like I was a state champion. I competed at New Balance Nationals. I was just for sure, like I said, an example of going out there and getting it. Not being a follower, being a leader, and just sticking to it really. But for sure, I'm sorry, I had got off track and lost topic. But oh
So,
wow.
what are you doing in the community there around the school where you at?
Okay. Yes, in the community. Yeah, and when I do it in my community, I for sure do service. Like I said, I joined a service organization this past fall semester. Um, we, help clean up the campus. We donate clothes. We help people move out of their dorms this past semester, and we do that every school year. At the end of the school year, we help people, whoever, we have a link, a website that you can sign up for, help them move out. We even went to go help out, volunteer at a dog shelter. Just went to go help walk the dogs and just, entertain the dogs while they're there at the shelter.
Have you participated in any campus initiatives or events related to financial education or student loans?
I have not participated, no, but I have been. I went, yeah, invited basically by the teachers to go to a financial, like you said, initiative, but I didn't know. I haven't participated in any.
Is there a particular reason?
I feel like the day that I just feel like I was too busy. Well, if I remember correctly, not I shouldn't say that. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I just was too busy to attend the event at that time.
Okay. Do you feel that your school adequately prepares students for managing their finances after graduation?
Now, like I said, unless you're a business or accounting major, I don't feel like the school necessarily provides that guidance for you.
How do you think the current economic climate affects students' financial stability?
It affects it a lot, because of everything else is so high. It's hard for us to, even maintain, like I said, maintain the lifestyles that we have. So the economy for sure has that type of impact on it. Like I said, it'll make us stress. We worried about the wrong stuff. We're not worried about school anymore. We're worried about life.
Mm. So, so let me ask you this. Because I know you said that you aren't really too active, and being around people is like one of those things that you don't really do. Um, So on the campus, when there are social events, or when do you ever feel the need to just be social, to get out there and just navigate your way around the campus and learn a whole lot more about the campus?
Yeah, for sure. But that's I started that journey for sure this past spring semester. I've started, like you said, interacting, going to more events, social events, and just service events as well. Like you said, creating those bonds with my peers that I could use in the future or down the line or as of right now.
Okay. Have you encountered any challenges related to housing or food insecurity as a student?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, because I'm emancipated, um, yeah, I don't have any of course, I do know my parents. I have both my parents still here in this life. They're just, I'm the second oldest of seven children, and my mother, she has three, and my dad has the seven. But I'm the second oldest on my dad and the oldest of my mother, and you know, just just you know, just having those siblings. I'm sorry, I keep forget. I have a short train of thought for sure. Like I lose track, and once I get off topic, I just lose track. I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Have you encountered any challenges related to housing or food insecurity as a student?
Yeah, because I'm emancipated, I have had housing issues. But I ended up moving off campus maybe two semesters ago, and I've been living off campus ever since then. And I mean, I've been making it work as far as that because with that housing situation, it was I used to go back and forth home to Chicago and come back to school over the summer and winter breaks. But it was also because during COVID, the winter break was longer than what it is now. So before it used to be before we had got out like before Thanksgiving and we didn't have to come back all the way until after January. But you know, then but nowadays it's we get out like maybe the second week of December and we come back, the second week of January. So it's different now, but because I don't travel back and forth anymore and I have this apartment down here, I don't face housing issues anymore. And as far as the food goes, no, I don't necessarily have those issues anymore.
Okay. So is it safe to say though that your campus experience at this point has been is it satisfactory to you?
Um, No, me personally, no, I haven't. I'm not satisfied with my time here and on this campus because I for sure could have made more of this time while I was here. And like I said, I'm not gonna regret it because that was just the time that I was living in and the things that I was experiencing during that time. I had to deal with that, so I wouldn't say that I regret not interacting, but I do I do know that I missed out on a lot of stuff that I could have, you know, been a part of now. But I still have a chance to, I still got one more year here. And like I said, I'm for sure going to be active in the fall and the spring as far as going to events and networking.
How do you think schools can better address the intersection of financial struggles and academic success?
Um, I just feel like if the school just covers the finance part, all the student will have to worry about is getting the education, and I mean that would just make everything so much easier because, like I said, we already have to deal with our outside life with the college life. So if we just don't have to worry about college life finances, then our regular life would just be way easier.
How do you sought but have you sought advice or guidance from faculty members regarding your financial concerns as a student?
I actually have not sought any help from any faculty or staff as far as financials.
Like, have you talked to any of the faculty about it?
No, unless the only time I talk to faculty about it is when I go up to financial aid to give them some documents that they need or something along those lines. But other than that, I don't necessarily have that relationship with any faculty members. Well, yeah, I'm not that comfortable with any of those any faculty members to have that conversation with. I'm not saying that that's the reason why I wouldn't have the conversation, but you know, I'm not confident in approaching any of them with that information.
Okay. What impact do you think faculty diversity has on student experiences and perspective?
The diversity of the faculty for sure would help with the experience because different experiences brings different points of views and it may bring a different type of idea to help the student. So diversity in the faculty for sure would have a great big impact on the students.
I want you to just think here for a second, and I want you to just when you get this whole thought process here in your mind, tell me what would the perfect campus look like for you?
The perfect campus. I mean, for sure, enough housing space for all the students that attend. Any, like you said, just buildings that provide initiatives or provide support, help and promote that help. Like, because I wouldn't say that Grambling doesn't have those buildings. We do have those buildings, but we don't know about them. Like, they're not promoted. They're not put on the forefront. But more recently, we have a new president, and he does plan to. I forgot the name. I forgot what they're calling the building, but it's a student service building basically that's going to provide services for a lot of different things for the students. But yeah, if it was just if that if that could happen for us, then that would the streets being fixed, a library. It's a lot of things. Yeah, just an intramural center. We have one of those. I feel like Grambling has a perfect campus. They just don't take care of it. Like, if we had the fixed roads, if we had the fixed up dormitories, if we had the library, everything here would be perfect.
So let me ask you this. Would that not be the perfect advocacy project for the organization that you are part of?
Yeah, we for sure could advocate for that, it's crazy that you mentioned that because, just like how I'm speaking to you about this, I speak to my line brothers about it a lot, and they know how I feel and where I stand as far as what what we were just speaking on, for a good campus. They know that information, and we for sure could put that into the works, and especially because we have a new president, he might actually hear us out and have a better communication than the past president. So yeah, we for sure could. We could try to make that happen, and I will actually. It's just because it's my last year in school. Like I said, if I would have had more time, I could have been something like this because I've been feeling this way about the campus for sure. Like but yeah, I'm starting late, so it for sure just have to be a lot of heavy lifting. But I don't have no problem with that for sure.
Yeah, I think these are the times, especially like how you're thinking and some of these things that you've seen for a while. I know sometimes it can feel like maybe you're thinking that it's probably rocking the boat, and that's not something that you're trying to do. But I think that when you have these thoughts, I mean, it's not only for the betterment or the improvement of the school and the environment, but it's also for the betterment and the improvement of the environment for the students. So it works hand in hand. And so that's why I think that probably that's a very good advocacy project, especially with this being your senior year, that you could probably lead something like this and you can help make those changes.
Yeah, for sure. Like I was saying, I just know I have to become knowledgeable on how to interact with the faculty and those members that actually have a say so in what happens on campus.
Right. So how do you think schools can promote a culture of financial responsibility amongst the students?
I mean, yeah, like we spoke on before, if they just provide those courses, or just provide it as a requirement, because it's not required by anybody, we won't know it. But if they require it, then we will have to know this information, and this information will help us.
Now, there's one thing, as you think about this, because that's actually a broad situation, because there's no college or university and any of the high school systems that actually teach this. So if that's the case, then, we have to, I think maybe in just thinking about it from a broad perspective, that has to come from top down.
Right.
So that means that, there are people in the Department of Education that know this, but they haven't done anything about this in the last 100 years. There are people in your school that know this, but maybe they're told that they can't do this. So we don't know that. So I think probably, with, you guys being concerned about this and, going to the president or somebody in the faculty and just discussing and asking those questions, they should be able to direct you to, as you move up that chain, as to and providing maybe some some way of actually telling you guys that maybe this is how you want to approach it and this is what you need to ask, because I'm more than sure that there are some schools that are trying to implement this very same thing that we're discussing.
Mm.
And that is because it is important, especially for people that look like you and I, to understand finance and financials in general, because it goes all the way top down from generational wealth to earnings to living and to providing. So we get to survival. So what that means is you have to really get those facets, to learn that, hey, I want to do this and I think it's important enough that we should get this for everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, sir. So in what ways do you think schools can better support students in achieving their academic and financial goals simultaneously?
Um, Other than outside of providing the programs, I just feel like the students, I mean, the faculty, the school could help the students, and so well they could support them in the financials by just like I also was saying, just letting them know, making them aware of what they need and or where they need to go to get the information from. Because, like I said, even if they don't have it for themselves or have it, to give, they should be able to point us in the right direction at least.
Hmm. And so just in an overall perspective, um, your experience being at Grambling State University, which is a historical black college slash university. And I know that there are lots of historical figures that have passed through that school. Um, how do you feel that you can best create your legacy from that historical university?
Well, my plans at first, like I said, I'm still an athlete for sure. But coming out of high school, I was a track star, and my plans were to, leave my legacy on the track team at Gremlin. And my legacy is from, just from track. But times life happens, times change, and I had to readjust and pivot basically. So now, what I want my legacy to be before I leave Gremlin is just, I was a face to be seen, not even a face to be seen, but I was a face that that was around. Like later on down the line, when I tell people that I went to Grambling, oh, I went to Grambling between these years, I want them to be able to be like, oh yeah, I know of you, or I've heard of you, and stuff of that nature. As far as service and just being around at the events at school events really,
Mhm.
and just for my service for sure.
Great. So, so you think being an advocate for other students as well as yourself is a good thing to do?
And yeah, like you just promoted me to do for sure. Just stepping out of my comfort zone, trying to get those, like you said, being an advocate for the students who don't have a voice and are not that confident to speak up really. Because I for sure, I'm not scared to talk, but it's just like I said, I pick and choose for sure nowadays. Well, I used to, but nowadays, I'm getting past that. I'll for sure try to, like you said, be an advocate for the other students and advocate for the school in general, really.
Yeah, because I mean, being a leader, is being a leader. And so I think that would display great leadership by doing something like that, because, I think all students, can know some things that they want or some things that they need or some things that are missing, but they never voice it. So if you
Yeah,
don't voice it, then it never gets addressed.
for sure. I agree. Yeah, like you said, a closed mouth don't get fed for sure. I gotta speak up, and I know that. I know that. So, just knowing it now, just putting forth the efforts or is really doing it is where I'm at.
So, leaving us here in closing as we wrap up the show, what are some of the things that you want the audience to know about your experience as a college student?
Um, I want everybody to know that you for sure, anybody that you know in school, as far as if that's your son, your cousin, family member, friend, just making sure you're reaching out to them and supporting them through every and anything that they're doing. Like, because especially when they're far away from home, it's easy to feel like nobody cares or nobody is paying attention to what I'm doing anymore. But just having those relationships or having those people reach out to you and letting you know that they're still around and they still care about what you have going on, it just makes the student experience way better, and it makes it's motivation. Like it's a push for sure to keep going. It's people that's watching you, and it is some people that are looking at you as an example. So just that's for sure one of the things that I just want people to remember about my college experience is just support is a big thing. And even the littlest things, just like I said, it doesn't even have to be financial support. You don't have to send money, but just talking, having a conversation, that will help. That goes a long way with me for sure.
That's that, and that's a great thing because with you guys being the future leaders of this world, of this free world, we definitely more people need to start reaching out and actually communicating, just as you just advocated for. Also, in closing, please make sure that the people in your group and people around the campus, please make sure they go register to vote and they vote, because that's
Yes,
very,
sir.
very important. Please vote. So I'd like to thank Mr. Askins for taking the time to be with us. Those of you that are watching on the YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe and notifications button so that there's any show that you miss, or when there's a show coming up, you will be able to get that show as it's going live. I'd like to thank you all for for spending this time with us. Have a wonderful evening. Have a great weekend. And please, we will be back with you all next week. Thank you again, Mr. Askins.
Thank you.